starting point should be to understand what business analysis is all about. It's not a role or responsibility, it's a mindset.
Yes.
So understanding that element is really important. I have seen people struggling moving from one particular role, say a particular role, into business analysis, and then feeling sorry about themselves, thinking that what we have entered into, and then they want to switch again, which is not the right way of doing it. So understand this field in detail. What it is not just taking down the requirements, setting up those meetings and taking the minutes. It is not. If you're a new business analyst, join a new team. If your team is supporting you wherever needed, it is a God's blessing. Honestly, you will shine like a star when you have teamwork, when you have good people, when you have good stakeholders around you. There is a fear of delegation. I have seen this personally in my past projects as well. When you have that fear of delegation and you want to take everything on yourself, it becomes a soup. Certification is just theory knowledge. It will give you a good understanding what this field is all about. But that practical implementation is something which will build your career forward. Certification should not be seen as something which will get you a job. If a person is certified, that person has more knowledge rather than a person who's not certified. It's not a correct way of representing things. It is just that it shows your passion towards that profession and the theory of it.
Here I am, bringing you insightful conversations about modern-day career opportunities, perspectives, and powerful stories. Welcome to Career Explore. I am your host, Jay Kishore Bayadi.
Today we have with us Mr. Nitin Deswal, a seasoned and experienced and practicing business analyst, aka BA. Nitin writes about business analysis topics on various publications, and as a passionate content creator and trainer in the business analysis area, he empowers professionals through business analysis training and insights and in his insightful blogs. So Nitin, I welcome you to the show, and in this episode, we will be talking about nuances of a BA career. Okay, so Nitin, before we actually begin, can you tell me about yourself? What is your background is like, and can you also share your journey into the field of business analysis, and what initially attracted you to this field or career?
Sure. Thank you, Jai Kishore, for first of all inviting me to your podcast. I've read your book. Amazingly written. So congratulations on that as well. Now talking about myself, I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer, did my engineering and then did my MBA as well. I would say business analysis is the field. When I started my job after MBA, I was working as a business analyst plus PM. But then I thought, let's look at the core business analysis. Let's not play a dual role. So I thought, what can be done in that stream? How can I enter an industry where I can just focus on business analysis? Because that role was not there in the current industry where I was working at. Now, that was the starting point for me. I would say I'm an accidental business analyst. I was just introduced to business analysis, and I didn't know that I'm performing a business analyst role at that moment. And when I started reading about it, that was the time it struck me that yes, this is what this role and responsibility, or this entire thought process is called as business analysis. And I always say this, for me, business analysis is not a role or responsibility, just correcting myself over there. It is a mindset. every individual in the industry, starting from a tester, starting from a developer, reaching till the CEO level, everyone plays some or the other activity of business analysis. So that's my take on business analysis. Just digressing from the topic, but yeah, coming back to it. So I did my ECBA certification, which gave me a very good understanding of what business analysis is. What are the? I mean, I knew what it is, but it just gave me that more assurance, increased my credibility in the market as well. Very good certification to start with. Did that. Took me quite some time. I thought, self-study will be something which I opted for, and that really helped me. It took some time, but that really helped me in understanding it from start to end. Then I joined the banking domain, started working in the core business analysis world, and did my CBAP few days back. So that was all about me. I will call myself as an accidental business analyst, but yeah, it turned out well.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We'll talk about the recent your certifications a little later. I mean, I would like you to give your insights, your experiences completing certification as well. Which will be definitely helpful for our the listeners. So based on your experience so far, right? How will you describe a typical day in the life of a BA, right? I mean, the types of tasks you handle,
Yeah.
kind of, the challenge you encounter, all those stuff. So basically, it should give aspiring or some practicing new budding business analysts
Yeah.
some view about the role. How every morning, sometimes do you I mean, every morning when you wake up, right? I mean, the day, or the day ahead excites you, or is it something like, oh my God, in just another day? I mean, how do you feel? I mean,
Yeah.
give us a kind of a highlight of based on your experience, a typical day of a life, day in the life
Sure.
of a BA.
Sure. It definitely excites me. Reason being, which we'll cover later as well. I just love my job. I love being business analyst, and for me, business analysis is not limited to what is there in theory, what is there in books. I extend my tasks or my described roles and responsibility. I go beyond that every time. Sometimes I play a role of PO, sometimes I play a role of PM, sometimes a designer as well. So that is what excites me. Every day is a new day for me, where my ultimate focus is to deliver value to my stakeholders as well as the customers who are the end users. Plus, I mean, it's a continuous journey. So if you love the job, you will keep learning, you will keep moving forward. So to answer the question, it is every day is an exciting day for me. Now, what a typical day looks like, it depends at what stage of your career you are when it comes to business analysis. For someone who has joined recently or have just stepped into this field of business analysis, most of their time they will spend in shadowing the senior business analyst, understanding those nuances, like, I mean, the topic itself, which we are discussing, nuances of business analysis. How are there any standard guidelines which have to be followed when it comes to documentation? So most of their part or most of their activities will be related to learning the stages of business analysis in that particular domain they are working for. When you grow, I would say when you reach that mid-level, most of your time will be spent in strategizing those, in case you're working for a digital journey design, strategizing those journeys. In case you're working in the data team, strategizing the tasks which will deliver better value, which will meet those KPIs. So then you become KPI oriented, then you become strategy oriented. So that's the difference. So my typical day starts with how should I put it? Because I do so much beyond business analysis. So my typical day starts with reviewing. So I plan my day a week ahead. So I know what I'll be doing tomorrow, day after, and next week as well. So that is how I plan my entire work. Now it so right now I'm working on digital journeys. So my day starts with looking at the Figma UI UX. That's the starting point. Then I look at the meeting schedule. I look at who I have to meet today, depending upon the agendas. So I prep myself up, looking at those documents every day, looking at those designs every day, looking at what level we'll meet the KPIs, looking at how this can be done better. So for me, every day is what we have to do and how we'll do it and how it can be done better. These are the three elements which I focus on. So I hope I answered your question, and apologies for being verbose.
You are. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's wonderful. I mean the planning and execution is one of the key
Yeah,
skills or key aspect a business analyst has to have because if BA doesn't have a the sense of planning, then it will be very difficult to manage because everyone
absolutely.
will jump onto a BA, right, for anything.
Yeah,
So you need to prioritize, plan. So yeah, I mean it's a great thing. So basically, see these skill sets, the documentation or your Jira, all those these skills related to tools and all those things, it can be
yeah,
learned. Okay, it's not a big thing. Anyone, if you spend a weekend or not a weekend,
absolutely.
I mean if you spend few hours, you can learn those. But you know the soft skills, I mean,
Mm,
can you please describe or explain what are the essential soft skills that are
mm,
required
mm,
to be a successful BA, right? I mean,
sure.
based on your experience, because the success of business analysis is always
Mm,
about communication, right? So,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
your soft skills is communication, is of course, but what is your take on it and how uh, you
Mm,
you see the soft the possessing a great soft skill will
yeah,
automatically grant you a kind of a success in the business analysis space.
yeah. You rightly said, Jake. Sure. Communication is the starting point.
Mhm.
Whether and it's just not about business analysis. It's
Mhm.
about any role you pick up. You will be communicating with some or the other person, and either in verbal format or say through your body language. So communication always plays an important role. So that's the first starting point when it comes to soft skills. The other important element which has helped me in my career is listening skills. And there is a difference between listening and hearing.
Mhm.
Listening is when you are understanding what the second person is saying, articulating their thoughts, and answering those questions which they have asked, and asking the right questions as well. So asking the right questions is really important. That is where the articulation skill, your listening skill, and your communication skills play a very important role. So these are the top two skills which I feel. There are others as well. There are other as well, like empathy. So staying empathetic to the second person is really important when you're working in a team structure. And if you have to succeed in business analysis, teamwork plays a very important role. So these are the top three which I feel has helped me out: communication, listening, and empathy. There are others as well, like I said, but these are the top three which I feel will help out others too.
Mhm. So when you say uh, do you think these soft skills can be learned? I mean, in the sense, see, for example, empathy. You said,
Hmm.
it's a putting yourself into some other's shoe and the feeling the pain of that particular person, right? I mean, it's a kind of a
Yeah.
uh, see if I, people have different kind of I mean there are different kind of a people. Some people don't know how to think about that way. I mean they they don't know. I have
Yeah.
seen they cannot feel empathized with some other some other people. It's not their fault. I mean, it's not that they don't want to, but just because they don't want to. So if such soft skills, I mean, if someone has to learn, right? I mean, is it possible to learn, or how you would practice?
It is, you're right on that. It can be learned, but sometimes it becomes hard because it is engrossed in your nature.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, and this is my perception, if you want to succeed in business analysis, that empathy has to be there. And to it will take time, but you will be able to achieve, you will be able to reach where you can say, all right, I am a better person now. When it comes to empathy, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you an example, and it will kind of checkbox all the three elements which I said, which I highlighted when it comes to soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are working with testers, developers, you will be doing all those things as part of your day-to-day life. Your primary stakeholders are your POs, your PMs, but how will you deliver value to them? It's the people who will develop it, who will test it. Now, if you're not empathetic, if you're not listening to the developers, testers, let me just take examples of testers. If you're not listening to the quality assurance people,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not listening to their feedback, not being empathetic to them, there would be chances that you will miss out a bug which will cause a lot of noise in the company. Plus, you might lose a lot of millions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as you grow in the organization, and these developers are really good people, and testers are also really good people, but there is sometimes there is a friction between the teams, between these team members, between testers, developers, and BA. Because sometimes, I have experienced it in my past. Developers might feel that BA will not be adding much value to our work, but that's I disagree with that. If you have to add value, um, you have to communicate better. You have to understand what they are working on. Speak their language. And how will you do it? You have to listen, you have to communicate, and you have to stay empathetic. That is when they will start realizing your value in the team. That is when they will start trusting you. So I feel these three skills are really important to build that rapport with the entire cohort in which you are working.
Yeah, I totally agree with your explanation basically. So communication. You can work with people very nicely. No, but still,
Yeah.
as a BA, right? I mean, because he's in the he is the center of kind of a project, kind of a
Yeah.
center in the project, right? I mean, he is the person who knows the requirements very well, scope, everything. So
Yeah.
normally he will be pulled left, right, and center with the tasks. You know,
Yeah.
so how do you handle this basically? I mean, see, I mean, you are a person who always project manager want in every call. You're a person, developers always want you to clarify few things, and also,
Right.
like you said, the testers. So
Hmm.
so how do you balance and how do you plan this task? I mean, that is one question. So, considering all this, I mean, do you think BA job, you enjoy this challenge, but is it a really easy job or a kind of a tough job?
Okay. From my opinion, it is not a hard job to do,
Mhm.
but it depends, Jackie. Sure. I mean, probably that is my experience which is speaking when I say it's not a hard job to do, but it's
Mhm.
not easy as well for us for a fresher who has joined in,
Mhm.
because you join new job, you are so overwhelmed, you are bogged with so many documents, you have to meet so many stakeholders,
Mm.
senior stakeholders, mid-level, and then developers and testers. Now, when it comes to handling tasks, personally, I feel really proud when I go on to calls with PM, with developers, with testers, when the people reach out to me and I am helpful to them as well as resourceful too. So I personally feel really great and proud about it. But it depends on individuals as well. Sometimes BAs might feel that our scope is only limited to requirement gathering, and then probably we'll move on to the next project. But that's not the right way of looking at it. I stretch myself beyond business analysis activities, which and just not looking at the requirements from gathering perspective, but looking at those requirements of what it will deliver and how we can refine it further. So when it comes to priorities, once you start working on a project, you ultimately gain that mindset that this is the priority item for me, which I have to do today, and this is the priority item which I have to do tomorrow. But it can take time, like I said, for a new BA. It can become quite overwhelming and a scary role when they just start their career. But with experience, you gain that confidence. Plus, you feel more comfortable then. So that's my take on it. I'm not sure whether I was able to answer that question, but yeah, I love doing multiple tasks beyond business analysis.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a passion. So if you want to be a business analyst, it is not as a typical 9 to 5 job. It sometimes or most of the times it expects a little more than that. Little passion. Obviously, it is a very attractive role, attractive. The remuneration it may give, but it demands some challenging, demands to manage some challenges as well. I mean, you are
absolutely,
you are very right on that. So many times, BA, BA is a BA. I mean, there is a set of roles he has done. I mean, and he goes beyond that as well. But there is a point. You have to say no to something, right? I mean, so have you ever say no to anything? I mean, any instance in your experience, if you can describe?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite it's quite obvious when things just become too much. And saying no is not bad. If you feel this is not the work you are interested in, if you feel that you are not fit for it, feel free to recommend anyone else. I can give you an example when I was involved on one of the data projects, which included, I think it was related to migration, if I remember it correctly, where I was requested to code something and get the data, do the data analysis. So for me, focusing on the core BA work is the first priority, and all these things goes on the second priority. So precedence is always given to core BA work, which I do. So I did say no to it. I said there are other people as well in the team who are more skilled in doing it. Happy to help them out, but this is not something which I would be much interested in doing at this stage of my time. I can focus on the other BA work, which will add more value rather than doing the level of analysis you want me to do. So it is absolutely fine to say no.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right thing. So you need to prioritize, what you want to do, how your contribution and your, I mean, so basically, based on your answer, what I can infer is that in a particular project, what is your role? You have to deliver your tasks first. I mean, over and above such tasks come. so you are not able to deliver your core job, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so then that will be an issue, because when you are not delivering that, your core aspects being in that role, because easily anyone cannot take a business analysis job, right? I mean, they need some
Mm.
kind of a mindset, like you only said. They need some kind of a understanding of what role is that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when you fail to deliver your own core job, I mean, without saying no to the additional, the requests that come in, then I
Mm.
mean, then it will be a problem within the project. So it's a very nice answer, Nitin, because you need to prioritize your job, your thing first. Then, if you can do it, if you have bandwidth, you can take it up, right? So
Yeah.
that's a
And
wonderful, yeah.
just to add to it, Jai Kishore,
Mhm.
there is a fear of delegation.
Hmm.
Um, I have seen this personally in my past projects as well. When you have that fear of delegation
Hmm.
and you want to take everything on yourself,
Hmm.
it becomes a soup.
Hmm.
Um, Plus, there are other people who are expertise in that field.
Hmm.
So give me a BA job, give me a BA work, I'll do excellent in that.
Hmm.
Give me something beyond it, I'll try my best, but there are other people who are expert in that. Let them do it.
Hmm.
If they need support, happy to help them out.
Hmm.
So that has always been my approach.
Hmm.
I will I will at the first instance, I will never say no to anything. Honestly speaking, I'll try to find out that if I can get that information. If not, then it has to be delegated. Honestly speaking.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a very well said. Yeah. So as a BA, based on your experience, what is the biggest challenge you always face in any project? I mean, the very common challenges, or
Yeah.
but in every project you face it. And as
Yeah.
but when you grow with the experience, sometimes it doesn't feel as a challenge. It's a kind of
Yeah.
it becomes a the day-to-day job. But what is that biggest challenge you face in business analysis?
Oh, there are many stakeholders. Starting
Mhm.
with stakeholders, it depends who your stakeholders are.
Mhm.
That's the starting point. Then getting the time from those stakeholders, getting those requirements sorted on time, getting the problem statement documented properly, uh, knowing about what the scope of work is, um, having a right direction to move ahead. These are the basic challenges. There are many. I mean, we can we can actually have a separate session altogether. What challenges a BA face? There are so many, but the most challenging part, which I feel personally, is lack of teamwork.
Mhm.
If there is no teamwork between the most important needed stakeholders, core team, the project will fail. And we and the team won't be able to conclude. And let me just take a minute to explain this better. Even if you're a new business analyst in a team, but if your team is ready to support you, and I'm just referring to the core team, there could be wider teams as well. If you're a new business analyst, joined a new team. If your team is supporting you wherever needed, it is a God's blessing. Honestly, you will shine like a star
Mhm.
when you have teamwork, when you have good people, when you have good stakeholders around you. And I can understand there would be few stakeholders who are quite finicky, but you have to manage it. You have to understand your stakeholders, what they need. That's the starting point. Understand them personally as well, not just professionally. Start building rapport. Once you build that repo, that is when you are able to connect the dots and the teamwork comes together.
Mhm.
So for
Yeah.
me, teamwork plays really important role. It can solve anything in the world, honestly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. When you have a good stakeholders, good team, right? It's a perfect situation. Sometimes, people call it as a perfect project, right? I mean, you still,
Yeah.
after so many years, you still recall. I mean, in my experience also, I mean, 5, 6 years back, 8 years back, I had, a couple of projects where I had a
Mm.
very good stakeholders, very team. You will never get, it happens that, it just happens, a perfect thing, and we
Yeah.
delivered it successfully. Those are all, when I look back, those are all now the pleasant memories, as well as I learned a lot of things from such projects as well. There were challenges, there were, the difference of opinions, but still, uh, I cherish those, the project memories, even now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's absolutely right. Whatever you said, the team. When you get a good team, good stakeholders, a good project, some challenging work, right? I mean, it's a perfect, and it just happens, and yeah, I mean, that's a great thing. So, Nitin, continuing our discussion, uh, let's talk about the current trends in the the business analysis the
Yeah.
space, right? I mean, this AI, how AI is getting getting impacted to the business analysis jobs. I mean, how do you say, or how do you utilize AI for your day-to-day work nowadays? If you can give some insights on this, it would be helpful.
Mm. Okay. AI has been revolutionary, honestly.
Mhm.
Uh, but when it comes to my day-to-day role, AI hasn't picked up that much, honestly. We work, I mean, I work in the banking industry, which is a highly regulated industry.
Mhm.
So data privacy, data integrity plays a really important role. In my job role, I'm
Mhm.
not talking about the wider organization. I'm
Mhm.
talking about my job role.
Mhm.
AI hasn't been implemented yet.
Mhm.
But I feel, and again, a personal opinion from my side, uh, AI will definitely help you in automating the day-to-day jobs which you perform, the monotonous jobs which you perform, like looking at those requirements, documenting the requirements, just managing your day-to-day tasks. It
Mhm.
can definitely help you out, but solely depending on AI is not, which I feel will be a great idea.
Mhm.
And AI cannot add that empathy, right? AI cannot speak with stakeholders and capture those requirements. It can definitely help you in refining those requirements,
Mhm.
but not capturing the essence of it. It can help you in finding out a bug, but cannot help you in writing uh, something which delivers the value which is needed. So you have to uh, indulge along with the AI. I mean, that personal touch is definitely needed. Uh, so solely depending on AI is not what I prefer. Honestly, it can definitely help you in RTM as well, creating those requirement traceability matrix and other documents as well. But then you have to be there to look at it because AI can go wrong
Mhm.
anytime.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's a great insight. Even I agree with that. So, there are so many the activities which BA does, where AI can help. Yeah, I mean, in future, but it is not yet there. But still, like you said, the summarization aspects, refinements, the creating documents,
Yeah.
documentation, or suggesting the ideas, or suggesting questions, your creating meeting minutes, and all those stuff. I think, I mean, a BA can make use of AI, but like you said, in a highly regulated industry, you should be very
Yeah.
careful. I mean, especially uh, as a BA, one should be very careful that he should not, or he or she should not give out the any confidential data to any public
Yeah.
the AI tools, right? I mean, it is not recommended. Obviously, if your organization has given a AI tool, right? I mean, let's say Copilot kind of a tool, which
Yeah.
works within the boundary of that corporate network, right? Where data will not go out of that network, then you can leverage. But if it is not the case, even utilizing the AI using your personal tools and all,
Right.
right, it will be a problem. It will be a problematic, so you should be very careful. So I agree with that, Nitin. So uh, you know looking at the current trends, I mean, what do you see as a the career path for a typical business
Hmm.
analyst, right? I mean, see, I mean, a fresher will enter as a developer or as a the intern BA or a kind of a tester who want to become a BA. Then
Right.
he will spend some 5-10 years as a BA. Let's say after 10 plus years of experience or 15 plus years of experience, uh,
Hmm.
you know, what is the kind of a typical roadmap? Not a roadmap. I mean, a career path you have
Yeah.
seen, and how do you advise to plan that career path? From the in the initial phase itself, right? I mean,
Right.
see, so what is your take on that? How you view that?
Okay. So business analysis is a field which is very versatile.
Mhm.
It and how is it how and how's why do I say that? Uh, it gives you ample opportunities to develop those transferable skills, whether it is data analysis. And now it completely depends on you. It depends on your interest. It will definitely give you opportunities. For example, it will give you opportunities for data, getting into data analytics, getting into business analytics, getting into designing, or say delivery managers. So it will definitely give you opportunities and give you path to develop those skills. Now for me, someone who has been in the industry for quite some time, say 10 years, 15 years, that is the time where you will be able to judge judge your calling, whether you want to stay in the business analysis field and develop a cohort of yourself, of build that community in the industry which you're working for, create a COE, Center of Excellence for Business Analysis, in the industry you're working for. Or if you want to move ahead to more of a delivery role, say delivery managers, like I said, or into an SA role, solution architects, or you want to go, and if you and this career path also gives you a very very good opportunity to reaching those executive roles like CTOs. Then you have your chief operational officers as well, chief business intelligence officers as well. So these are the executive roles which you can take up depending upon your interest, depending upon how you have built those skills in the past. It is tough, it is not easy. I'm not saying it is easy, but it will definitely give you ample opportunities to reach up to that level. So that's my take on business analysis. A
Yeah.
very evergreen field,
Hmm.
which I feel has a very great career ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. The business analysis is a evergreen field. There may be some impact, some here and there, just like I mean, which is temporary. But
Yeah.
a business analysis as a role, right, is definitely required, always required for any project. It's not only for an
Yeah.
IT project. Everywhere there is a business analysis. In fact,
Yeah.
I was replying to a comment for an article in on the LinkedIn that everyone does the business analysis job unknowingly as well, right? I mean, see, I mean,
Absolutely.
even if you go for a shop owner, right, so he first understands what you need, right? I mean, he sells his products, or the qualities, but before that he wants to understand what is your budget, what you need, it is kind of an analysis only, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
I mean, so if you extrapolate that thing, you're actually doing with the processes, tools, and some practices, you're doing it as a full-fledged professional career. So
Yeah.
people doesn't have to think very complex about business analysis. Yes, it is a challenging job because people are involved. It's a people skill is the most
Yeah.
important skill it needs. So I mean, whatever you said, right? I mean, the career, because
Yeah.
of your versatile skills, you have a more the possibility or skills
Yeah.
required to move into a higher challenging roles, leadership roles, etc. So if you are a business analyst, you will become easily become a leader because you know how to solve a problem, right? So that's the main thing. So what is your advice to someone, right, who is just starting out as a business analysis career or wants to move into a business analysis career? I mean, how they can start their career and they can grow their career, based on your experience, what they should do?
Okay. Starting point should be to understand what business analysis is all about.
Mhm.
Like I said in the beginning as well, it's not a role or responsibility, it's a mindset.
Yes.
So, understanding that element is really important. I have seen people struggling moving from one particular role, say a particular role, into business analysis, and then feeling sorry about themselves, thinking that what we have entered into, and then they want to switch again, which is not the right way of doing it. So understand this field in detail. What it is not just taking down the requirements, arranging, setting up those meetings, and taking the minutes. It is not that element is just 5 to 10% of the work which we do. It is beyond that. It is more related to how you can deliver value start to end, how you can enhance that value. Uh, so think think really really hard when you want to switch to business analysis field. That should be the starting point. Once you have done that, analyze what skills you have, because business analysis is a field where you will definitely be able to use some of the other skills developed in your past jobs or in during your education as well. Imagine someone who has just graduated wants to enter into business analysis world. They would have developed some skills which will be definitely useful in business analysis field. So create a gap, uh, create a gap analysis, use gap analysis where the skills you have and the skills which you need to develop for business analysis and how you will develop it. So create a map of it. That's the second point. Start doing case studies. Learn what tools and techniques you will need. You can enroll yourself in the courses. You can learn it online. So start doing that. That's the third point. Speak with people. Create your own network. Join webinars. Build up that confidence. That's the fourth point. And fifth point would be to gain some experience, start solving case studies, start taking part in competitions, start doing internship if you are new. I mean, if you want to join into the business analysis world as a fresher. So these are the 4 or 5 steps which you can take. And finally, would be certification. Certifications definitely help
Mhm.
in getting that better understanding, building that trust level amongst the interviewers, amongst the entire network, entire community. So that really helps.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, in fact, my next question was, it is the same. Will certifications really help?
Certification, okay. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you already gave the answer, but that's fine. Uh, I mean, now coming to the certification, you recently completed,
Yeah.
the CBAP certification. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it would be really helpful if you explain us some tips and tricks to pass this CBAP examination. How you can
Okay.
start, how you can practice, how you can give the exam, and the entire process, and
Yeah.
so that people can know what is the process, everything. everything about CBAP, so that in short, if you can tell us, it will be really helpful.
Okay, sure. So CBAP, so the starting point, what is CBAP? CBAP stands for Certified Business Analysis Professional.
Mhm.
It is conducted by IABA, International Institute of Business Analysis, based in Canada. It is a certification which affirms an extensive knowledge in the field of business analysis, and not just the theoretical knowledge, requires the practical implementation as well. So that is all about CBAP in say 4 or 5 sentences. Now, how you can prepare for it? Your Bible is BBOK, which is also, people also call it as BABOK, Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. That's the starting point. Now, what I did was I went through BBOK so many times. I don't even remember how many times I went from page number 1 till the last page. It's a 500-page book, becomes quite overwhelming for a new beginner, but CBAP is not for someone who's new in this industry. It is for people who have quite experienced, are quite experienced in the field, in this field. So that was my starting point. Looked at every knowledge area. So I've done, like I said, I've done ECBA in the past. It was also dependent on, it was also based on BBOK. The difference was in ECBA, it is more of a memory recall. So the questions which you will have in ECBA will be direct questions from BBOK. It is mostly to test your understanding of the terminologies used in ECBA, used in BBOK, terminologies used in business analysis field. Now, coming from there, understanding the terminologies in a better manner, which I did by cracking ECBA, and coming to CBAP, which tests the experience which you have gained. That path became a bit easier for me, honestly, because I had that basic understanding. Now, I read BBOK so many times, looked at every knowledge area, and do not correlate that knowledge area with your practical experience. Things will go really bad if you do that, honestly. Mm-hmm. CBAP is completely based on your BBOK understanding, your BBOK knowledge. So think from BBOK perspective. What is written in BBOK? What does BBOK says? So that is what I always focused on. I know things might be different when it comes to practical world, but you have to focus on BBOK. There is no doubt in that. So I developed that thought process of whatever question it is, what does BBOK says? And those were few elements which I took care of. Looking at just washing away what I have learned in past, just looking at the exam from BBOK perspective, reading BBOK multiple times, understanding every knowledge area in depth, correlating every knowledge area, because there are so many elements in BBOK which feels repetitive, but for me it became easier, right? You learn one thing and you can correlate that thing with other elements as well. Then taking mock questions, mock exams. Sorry, that was a paramount step which I took, and it helped me in getting that stage set for myself. And lastly, final tip would be I took center exam. I didn't go for the online one because I read it somewhere and I still remember it, and it always resonated in my mind that when you take offline exam, you have the liberty of dumping the knowledge which you have on the piece of paper, but that element does not come into picture when you're giving an online exam, because you're being continuously being monitored by someone else sitting behind the camera. So that really helped me, and I have how should I say it? I have a habit of reading out loud when it comes to understanding questions. So that was the second thing which I kept in my mind, that online exam will not allow it. Mm-hmm. So that was the second reason I went for offline exam as well. So I was able to write down things which I remembered, from Bebok, some key notes during the center exam. Plus, I was able to follow my technique of reading out questions a bit loud in the center. So that helped me.
Yeah, I mean that's a great. So I mean, you have passed this CBAP exam, right? I mean, after you passed your exam, what is the kind of impact it had, the that entire learning, right?
Yeah.
In terms of your knowledge, understanding, how you can, obviously you will understand the frameworks, the tools, or the concepts, all those stuff, but what is the kind of impact you feel? Yeah, you passed. I mean, it's a big thing, right? I mean, you have a relief, and what is that kind of a better feeling you have one, after, what did you feel? I mean, after the passing this exam, it's not about, oh, I completed, but how you feel, you felt that, that kind of enlightenment. It's not an enlightenment, but uh, you know that knowledge, right? I
Feeling
mean,
of
yeah,
yeah,
feeling
feeling
of,
feeling
yeah,
proud about it. Yeah.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only proud, because see, the thing is, any certification, right? I mean, what I understand is that it gives you a kind of a structured learning. Okay, be it business analysis, or even in Dynamics 365, your product. They have, every product has certifications. It gives a structured learning about that particular topic, module, or whatever it is. And once you structured learning, when you give an example, you will forcibly learn those things, and you will understand, and you will get that good knowledge.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here also, did you feel that the elevation of knowledge in your mind
Yeah.
after you completed the exam? And you do you think that that knowledge you can apply in the practical scenarios?
Oh, definitely, it helped me.
Mm.
I mean, I have just completed it a few days back.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
let's see how much. I mean, most of the elements which I learned in CBAP, I was already applying it.
Mhm.
And yeah, so let's see how that goes
Mhm.
in the coming projects as well. But I'm 100% sure that knowledge will definitely come handy.
Mm.
And it's a milestone in the career
Mm.
for me.
Mm.
And I really felt proud that yeah, I was able to do CBAP after it has been really long since we have left college.
Mm.
So getting in that learning mode,
Mm.
managing time,
Mm.
remembering things, articulating them, it was tough. It was
Mm.
not easy.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, I could do it. So that was the proud moment for me.
Mm.
And like you said, CBAP is one of these certifications which
Mm.
holds a lot of credibility in the market,
Yeah.
a lot of trust in the market.
Mhm.
So I have been receiving number of requests, number of questions. How was the exam? And
Mm.
probably I have answered most of the questions on your podcast.
Mhm.
So yeah, probably I will just send the link to them. Just view the podcast, and you will have the answers.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
saved my time. You saved my time, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, one last question about this. This after certification, right? So,
Yeah,
don't you think? I mean, if a person, I mean, I agree with that. Certification gives you a structured learning, and many companies prefer certified professionals over non-certified, but
yeah,
it is again subjective. I won't I don't want to discuss on that topic,
yeah.
because my opinion is slightly the different,
Different.
because I have seen people who have done CBAP, right? I mean, they were not able to crack a business analysis interview, and this has been my
Mm,
experience. Okay, okay. So
mm,
ECBA, CBAP people who came
mm,
and whom I have interviewed, and I
mm.
have unfortunately had to reject because of various reasons. So,
Yeah,
uh, if you don't have a certification, right? So, uh,
yeah,
you know, as an entry level person, or a
Mm.
person who wants to grow in the business analysis career,
Yeah.
learning the practical aspects of the business analysis, don't you think it is foremost important?
It is important. It is definitely important. Certification is just theory knowledge.
Hmm.
It will give you a good understanding what
Hmm.
this field is all about.
Hmm.
Uh, but that practical implementation is something which will build your career forward.
Hmm.
Certifications are not, it shouldn't, okay, let me put it in a different way.
Hmm.
Certification should not be seen as something which will get you a job,
Hmm. Hmm.
which will, if a person is certified, that person has more knowledge rather than a person who's not certified. It's not and not a correct way of representing things.
Mhm.
It is just that it shows your passion towards that profession, and the theory of it.
Mhm.
A bit of practical implementation as well, because CBAP tests the practical implementation too.
Mhm.
But like you said and rightly said, that your practical knowledge matters the most. If you're
Mhm.
not able to apply that knowledge, it will fall flat. All the certifications will fall flat.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, I just wanted to hear from you as well, because
Yeah, yeah.
this has been my experience as well. Because at least
No, I
you
completely
resonate.
echo with
Yeah,
you on that completely, 100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
CBAP, any kind of certification, not just CBAP, any kind of
Mm.
certification does not testify that
Mm.
you will do great in your career. So
Yeah.
that I am 100% on you. It is just about passion. How you
Mm.
feel
Mm.
uh, uh, once you have reached that milestones. For me, certifications are my milestones. Honestly,
Yeah, I
I
totally
don't
agree.
take them as
Mm.
things which will give me get me a job or get better
Mm.
job. So these are
Mm.
just milestones in my career.
Yeah. That's great. So I think I have I don't have any further questions at this point in time. But do you have any departing words, or final words for aspiring and budding BAs? Any top two advice uh,
Mhm.
you have for them? Which
I would say three.
Mhm.
So stay inquisitive,
Mhm.
build that nature of staying inquisitive, staying curious, and staying resourceful.
Mhm.
These three, if you have built that ability of finding out the answers, and talking to people, building your network, you will do great in this career. Everything else for
Mhm.
me is on a lesser priority. But these things, inquisitiveness, curiousness, why we are doing this, what are we trying to solve? These are the questions which has to always go in my mind, or always go in your mind.
Mhm.
Anybody's who is planning to move to this career.
Mhm.
What value will it deliver? Can we do it better? So these are the questions. And how will you do that? Like I said, stay inquisitive, stay curious, try to find the answers by
Mhm.
yourself, take support. So these are the top three tips: inquisitive, curiosity, and yeah, stay hungry. Network, build your network.
Yeah, I totally agree with all those points, and especially the being resourceful is more very important for a business analyst, because you cannot say he did not give it, he did not support me, all those blame gaming, or
Yeah,
putting the blame on others will not work as a BA. So BA
yeah,
role is meant for understand the problem and solve the problem, is what my understanding. So whenever you are stuck in a situation, you have to find a way to come out of it, and that is what the expectation from the team, and from the team as well. I mean, that's the job, that's what you are paid for, right? I mean, that's the
yeah.
my thinking as well. So Nitin, I mean, thank you so much. This has been a very wonderful, conversation. Very nice, answers based on your experience you have provided, and Thank you so much for being my guest, and I hope
No problem.
this the podcast will help our upcoming business analysts, or or budding BAs, or uh, would be BAs.
Yeah.
They will find this useful. So basically, the main intention of this particular podcast or episode is to make them understand how a bird's eye view of a business analysis
Yeah.
role. I think we have covered a lot of topics here, and how it will be like a business analyst, just like a buddy telling another his buddy about
Yeah.
how business analysis role works. You have been terrific in answering all these questions, and I would like to thank you so much for being my guest, and I wish you
My
all the best
pleasure.
for your future endeavors. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you for inviting me, Jack. Sure. Thank you so much.